Morning, everybody. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. Thank you, George, for the invitation. So my name is László Szilágyi, and I'm representing Tokaj's Gizella winery. I come from Tokaj, and I tell you briefly about in a coming 30 minutes. Just tell you about the state and what I represent through this winery, and how my approach as an economist I use in managing this family winery. And I will talk less about science and scientific life, because I'm doing a PhD research project right now, but I haven't yet come to a point in that research that would be worth sharing, but maybe in the future. So the topics I'm going to cover in the coming minutes are seen in this slide. I'll share you a couple of milestones of my winery, of development winery. I'll tell you about the structure of the estate, the wine portfolio, some results that I managed to achieve, and some recognitions my wineries gained in the past few years, which I think are all key to surviving in a market. I'll share some of my future plans with you, as well as I'm going to give you an analysis of the performance of wines at Decanter World, Hungarian wines at Decanter World Wine Awards. This image here shows Lotse and Dollar. This is this kind of viticulture is very different, and Lotse is really struggling. They're behind the horse by Dollar. We'll see whether this is something we'll be able to maintain in the long run. Well, it's not the best way of running and cultivating vines as an economist, definitely, but still wanted to show that I do use methods like that in the vineyard. I was back in the day. I was studying at Debrecen University, and I got a degree in agricultural economics, which was a new major at the time. We launched in 1996, and I've been in the wine business for 20 years now, and when I think back, I can see how I solved some situations in the past, how I reached certain milestones in developing the winery. Although well, I love tennis, and you know, you can sometimes see, you know, that your opponent is about to win in the tennis court, and sometimes you face a similar situation in real life as well. So I also got a degree as a vineyard manager and winemaker in 2006, and we had to sit 90 examinations during my studies for this degree, and my teachers really forced us to find ways to solve problems during my years at university. So my winery in Tokaj is a family-run winery. My grandparents started this winery, and I and my wife, we joined the project in 2005, and so just before I started taking over the family winery, I thought I might need a degree in viticulture and enology. So and I got this degree, as I said, in 2006. So that was my second vintage, actually. So this is how I try to live up to the expectations in the family. And 2.5 years ago, my my daughter was admitted to secondary school in Debrecen, 6th class secondary school. So we decided to move to Debrecen because her school is in Debrecen. So the moment I'm running the winery from Debrecen, 100 kilometers south of the Tokaj region, and all my some of my friends whom I met in Debrecen again asked me whether I could, I wanted to do maybe a PhD, I said yes to them, and I didn't know what I said yes to actually, and I've done my complex examination already, and now I'm working on my thesis, PhD thesis, and I'm doing my research for my thesis at the moment, and I haven't yet told you that we started with just 1 hectare of vines in 2005. So that was back in the day. We were selling the wine basically as bulk wine, and to visitors. Basically, the cellar was open every weekend. Visitors came and they bought the wine like as bulk wine, basically. But I really had this feeling that I really wanted to make very high quality wine, and then we decided to bottle 4,500 bottles of wine, and that resulted 10 million forints of revenue for the family, and I realized very early that 1 hectare of vineyard will not be enough for me to make a living off, and so we tried to increase the surface area in production, and of course we didn't have a lot of capital available to us to do that, and that was really not a problem because basically there were so many checks and balances that really channeled my actions in the right direction, and I used some bank loans, took out some bank loans, and if you want to take out a loan, you always have to go through a filter, so to say, and if you want to apply for a bank loan, then you really need to prove that you can actually bring in the revenue in the future that you plan to bring in. And then we had 7 hectares by 2015. 2018 we grew to 13 hectares, and we really wanted to work in very modern vineyards. The old vineyards have great advantages and great benefits. However, your vines should be spaced in the right way from each other, so you can achieve the right levels of yield and produce enough wine that allows you to grow in the market. So now we have 20 hectares total. A little more than half of it is in production, and 9 hectares being planted right now. Our aim is to grow to an annual production of 35. At the moment, we can produce like 35 to 40 hectares, and currently we have an annual revenue of 100 million forints, and we'll be able to produce about 6,000 bottles a year when we have all the 20 hectares available and are in production. If you are below this level, if you are below this 20 hectares, 100 million forints of planned revenue, is difficult to survive. So this is I think the ideal level. So what is certain, and everything seems to be against us in the market, but what we can always rely on is mostly Tokaj. I'm a very lucky man because my parents picked this region to plant vines in. They also came from Debrecen. They bought a little holiday home in the wine region and started making wine there. as a hobby, but they picked a great site actually, and my confidence lies in this site because this is a part of the world where that can give some of the highest quality wines in the world, and I work with like 15 different export partners. And my wines go to all parts of the world, and I've been trying to go to many different tastings, understand the standards, understand the quality levels, and the recognition of Tokaj is something that no one ever doubts, and the volcanic soil is that really gives an added value to our wines. This is something we should celebrate every day. You can bring everything in. You can bring the grape varieties in. You can bring the. I mean, I'm talking about the capital. Sorry. You can bring the money in. You can bring the knowledge in. You can bring the technology to the region. You cannot bring the soil from anywhere else there. So it's a given. And I really have this diverse terroir in Tokaj, and that really is of outstanding value. Of course, we have very stringent regulations in place, and some growers do criticize them in the region. They still ensure that the Tokaj region has a certain identity, and it's a very clean and serious message to everybody. What's part of it's a big challenge when it comes to business calculations and predictions is botrytis and botrytization and the production of very high quality natural sweet wines. And this means a huge challenge as well when it comes to funding a vineyard, financing a vineyard, because you can sometimes end up wanting the grapes to get botrytized. You leave the grapes on the vine, waiting for botrytis to come, and then it never comes. And maybe you get 200 millimeters of rain, that like 2023, and then you'll not be able to produce any high quality sweet wines. And the same is the case. It's true of the other way around as well. And a business plan is very difficult to develop because you can't really plan ahead how much dry wine or how much sweet wine you want to make a year. And of course, and the time factor and the time value of money is something where we have a lot of challenges in Tokaj. Here. Just a few words about the location of my vineyards. It was partly, I chose these plots willingly and consciously, but of course there were other, accidental things that happened and resulted in. It's not just the way it goes that you just point at a site in a somewhere in the region and I want to buy it, and you cannot just go and buy up land so easily in Tokaj. And the Land Act prevents this from happening. So basically, if you have a site somewhere, then you can buy some neighboring sites. In the Torzal area, you can see that I have multiple vineyards there. And my own style is, I really gravitate towards this fruity, savory, and crisp wines, and those are the sites from which I can make the wines. This is a lush soil there on Tokaj Hill, and in the Silver, Barát vineyards, and Deák as well, and I have some sites in the Lestár, Bajusz, Dobai. I have a real base in Bodrogkeresztúr, where there's some rhyolite tufa in the soil. And there's a clayless soil in that area. And I really wanted to buy a plot in the mud area, so I got a small site in the Szent Tamás vineyard and the Bomboy, the former being replanted right now, and these give really very mineral wines. as far as the composition of grape varieties are concerned, you see Harsh value plays an important role in my portfolio of varieties. And this is because and if you look at why certain international varieties became successful, like Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, or Riesling, of course, all these international varieties give very complex, attractive, fruity character. And I'm not saying Furmint cannot do that, but if now that you have to pick the grapes very early occasionally, then Furmint it's difficult to make Furmint a very deep wine, and that's where Harsha value comes in. And I like Harsha value. I like to blend Harsha value to Furmint, therefore, and this is why most of my new plantings are Harsha value. Are of the Harsha value variety. There are no other options, and I'm really happy to see that. Really, and these are the only old-price varieties, a couple of old-price varieties. So we went for Harsha value from this short list of old-price grape varieties in Tokai. I've already mentioned that I'm trying to build very modern vineyards. Of course, the minimum density of vines should be 5,000 hectares, 5,000 vines per hectare, in order to increase yields, and this is what we're trying to achieve in the new vineyards, because that's when you can become eligible to grant funds. Here. Here's this slide, give you a couple of figures, actual figures, and this slide shows my portfolio of wines and what proportions they represent in my revenues. 2017, 2018, my main focus was on the single vineyard wines, and I really love these wines. And Zoltán is sitting here, Zoltán Demeter and István Szepsi. Their work and life had a great impact on how I view Tokai. And making single vineyard wines was something that was very important. I found that it was for me, there are some 200 wineries and competing in Tokai, and I wanted to, and that's how I thought I could really stand out to show my wines. And I tasted wines with lots of my visitors coming and tasting my wine at the winery, and many of my friends told me that you should understand that you may be able to make these great single vineyard wines. You can price them high, but from the economics point of view, these high-priced dry wines will not work. You cannot have just these high-priced dry wines in your portfolio. It very rarely works. We don't have a strong brand. We don't have a long history, really, so we can't really. And at the same time, I got this feedback. I kept getting feedbacks from wine fairs abroad, outside of Hungary, that the alcohol level of, and that was 2016. I got this feedback that we should try to reduce the total alcohol in the wines. And I was told that I should try to use less oak and forget about oak at all. And 2017 London Wine Fair was the event. I was there presenting the wines, and the first lady who came there and looked at it and asked me, oak? And I said, sure. And he threw it out without tasting the wine. I don't think it was a bad wine still, but it was. And then I really made me think about how I should change my vinification method. And then I really came to the realization that all the information I gathered from making single vineyard wines could be used to make a basic entry-level wine, which is more approachable. I'm talking about a 10 euro wine, roughly. It's a retail price, 10 euro retail price wine. And how I can make a wine that is really, can meet, market demands and what the market needs these days. And 2019 was the first Furmint Harsavelu dry blend I made. And now I make about 30,000 bottles of that wine every year. And roughly 48%, half of all my revenues come from that wine. Basically, 60% of my expenses are covered from the sales of this particular basic entry-level wine. And I can now see how high I should go with production to be a little more comfortable in the market, and I could have the freedom to continue making the single vineyard wines. And certain vintages I could still do this. One thing is the carbonated wines, which is the same category. It's a wine with added CO2 and from Muscat, and this also, and we can have these wines made in the community winery in Tokaj. Basically, it's a winemaker service center, so you can buy the service for €1 per bottle. That's the price, and they can go to the market with the label on the bottle. The single vineyard wines are sold at higher price points, about 10,000 forints per bottle. And as the price goes higher, the demand drops. And this is something I cannot change at all. I have to accept it. The wines sell slower. More expensive wines sell slower than the cheaper wines. That's obvious. So you can sometimes sell the wines for free. 3 years in a row, and then it will just stop selling. And I work with 6 wholesale companies in Hungary. These trends are very, very clear, and I can also see how it's shown in sales abroad. Samorodny, some of the wines and also wines, most of my awards have been won by those wines, and those are the most difficult wines to sell. And now that restaurants are coming up again after COVID, and I have the partners now that really have the professional knowledge to sell the wines on trade, that I think I can sell such wines. And here are a couple of results, which I'm really proud of. I'm not going to read it all out for you, but the first was after 10 years. I won my 2016, my 2015 Borat Single Vineyard Harsavelu was picked as the best Hungarian wine, and that was a Harsavelu, not a Furmint. And basically, this showed that Harsavelu can compete with Furmint, and it was a Harsavelu from Tarcal, not from Mad, and it was picked as wine #1 in the top 100 Hungarian wines, and that really gave me the confidence to continue down this road. Next year, the Borat Single Vineyard wine was picked as one of the most exciting wines of the past 75 years. I ended up to be in the panel from which the 50-strong panel from which the winemaker of winemakers awardees are selected from. James Suckling 1999 score was a big thing. 2022, one of my scored 97 points from James Suckling, and that can really help me sell my wine in English-speaking world. Such a score matters a lot, and this really helped me. And Decanter is clearly one of these events too. And I checked my Vivino and 4.1. We have some almost 3,000 scores from Vivino. Our average rating is 4.1 for all our wines, which is great, actually. And this really helps you sell the wine as well. My plans, a few words about my plans for the future. I'm trying to be very brief on this. Jörg Lorenz is here, and he's one of the shining examples of making wine attractive to future generations. I'm working on the same. I think we should really try to make young people more interested in wine, and it's our responsibility. I like to mechanize vineyard management, and we lost some service providers in this respect. They have technical problems with their machinery, and I need to buy my own machinery. So 2018, I got some grant funds to buy machinery for vineyard work. I decided not to use those funds. We're going to do the same again, and now I produce enough. Maybe build my own winery. That would be great. I like to continue building my export markets, and hope to increase my recognition in Hungary and abroad. And in the long run, I like to also reduce my carbon footprint. And I promised that I would share a few thoughts about what I'm doing my PhD research. And once I have very little time to do that research, because I need to run a 20-hectare winery at the same time. A friend of mine and we did this analysis of the results of Hungarian wines at Decanter World Wine Awards 2024, and my motivation was that I wanted to see I got a platinum that year for the Somorodni wine, the 2019 Somorodni wine, and what I wanted to see the results of Hungarian wines and see how the winning wines are priced actually, and how if there's any correlation between the two, prices of wine and results. What we found, around 146 Hungarian wines won awards in 2023. This is a competition to which over 20,000 wines are submitted every year, and there are lots of masters of wine, master sommelier, making up the panels of judges, and so they really have the credibility, and they use huge funds. When you want to submit a wine, it costs a grower £170. So 170 pounds times $20,000 or $18,000. That's a lot of money. So they have a huge fund, and they can pay all these judges, therefore, and they can give you a good feedback on the quality of your wine as a result. So the result was I basically Googled all the retail prices for these particular wines. And the Decanter has a huge database. All the results of tastings of 18,000 wines are there on their website, going back to 20-something years, and all the alcohol content, vineyard information, everything is there, production volumes, and we were able to correlate the retail prices to the awards, and I think this is a great news to Eger too. Basically, there are 3 regions in Hungary, south of the Lake Balaton area, the South Pannon region, Eger and Tokaj. On the left-hand hand side diagram shows the price per bottle, and the result is on the right-hand side, and Normally, if the price of wine is high, normally those wines score very high, and it's difficult to find a causal relations between these, because it's a long process. You submit the wines by late February, and the results are out in May only. So you cannot send in samples. You have to submit a wine that is already commercially available. So you need to have the prices. The wine is already available in the market at that point. When you submit it, you're not allowed to change the price anymore. So, and this goes to show, to me at least, that growers exactly know what quality of wines they submit, and they know how they price the wine. So normally they submit wines which have a high price. The other way it could work is that when you get a result, you get an award, you increase the price, but that's not how it works. So there's a QR code there. It's the first time I've done a QR code. Hopefully it works. So you can go and this article is accessible via this QR code, and it was published in the marketing publication of the Debrecen University. So just a few thoughts and a couple of fun facts. You should never give up. That's my message. I've been doing this for 20 years now, and there have been 5 occasions in my career that was really various economic crises, bad vintages that do have an impact and do affect your. So you start going, and then the market tells you, okay, go back to the beginning and start it again. So you should never give up. That's my message here, and I wish you every energy in this respect. Thank you for your attention.